welcome. I'm Lydia, this is Josie, and today we're going to show you a lovely, healthy for our household recipe. It's apple and cinnamon muffin recipe. Muffins are just really good fun to make, and maybe you want something slightly different for breakfast. They're a good alternative. Okay, Josie, I'm going to take you to work as usual. Shall I, do you want to peel the apple or do you want me to do it?
Can you do that one?
Okay. This is a nice eating apple, and we had a lovely time at State Park looking at all their trees and the vegetable garden, and we also got to find out the difference between cooking and eating apples, and we're just going to show you the shots of Josie there now.
So we're looking at apples and we have red and green. Are these eating or cooking apples?
Well, the green ones are the cooking apples, and as you can see, the red ones are the eating apples.
And what's the difference between them?
Well, the cooking apples you usually use for cooking. They are used for applesauce or for apple cake. And the eating apples you can eat fresh, but sometimes you can use them as a baking apple as well.
So, because I'm going to be making some muffins with apple in, which apples do I use?
Well, I would say take this one. This is now nice, tasty and fresh.
Hi, welcome back. So Josie, are you really up to date now? And what's the difference between an eating and a cooking apple?
Cooking, you cook one, and eating, you eat one.
Well, you're spot on. That's exactly right. So I have peeled and cored the apple, and just to clarify, coring is when you take out literally the core, so you don't want the seeds in that stalk. And Josie's now going to grate it into the bowl. We've got some lovely flavours going on here, as well as the apple. We've got raisins, some desiccated coconut. Try to get the unsweetened one. You don't need any extra sugar. Some brown sugar and some cinnamon and the flour. If you're not a big raisin or coconut fan, don't worry. You can swap the ingredients. Either take the coconut out and bump up the raisins, or replace the raisins with something like chopped walnuts. But we want the volume, so don't take everything out, that'd be rather dull. Another messy job for you.
Yeah.
I am mean, aren't I? I think that's perfect, a little lump won't do any harm.
Yeah.
And then to that, we're going to add some milk. We've got 240 mils of milk. This is a wet mixture, don't be alarmed, you'll see as we're spooning it in that it is really quite wet. The raisins, the coconut, I've got some melted butter here, just cooled melted butter. Breaking the egg for me. Soft brown sugar. And that's those. You can give that mixture a mix.
Thank you.
You could be quite rough with your muffin mix. It's not like cake mix.
What is
So
it?
you have to be very careful. Well, it's similar, but muffins tend to be a slightly wetter mixture than cakes, and you generally have less fat and sugar. And I was going to say they're not ice, but then a lot of time they are. That's super. And we're just going to sift in the flour and the cinnamon. That's a little bit of cinnamon. That's great sifting, Josie. Do you remember why we sift things?
No.
Sifting's important because you're adding air. By passing it through the sieve, you're trapping more air in, which makes for a lighter cake. And in the olden days, flour used to be stored in big bags, and so all sorts of little creepy crawlies can get in, so it was just important to sift those out. Now, supposedly, the most important thing with a good muffin is not to over stir it, so you can leave it quite lumpy and bumpy.
Is that okay?
That looks perfect. Now we've got our muffin tin. We're just going to line it with cases.
If you want savoury ones, what could you do instead?
Well, you could, if you haven't got a sweet tooth, you can make savoury muffins. Obviously you can make courgette and cheese ones. You can make bacon muffins. The Americans are huge fans of them. Right, should we fill those cases? Do you want a spoon? You might just have to use your fingers. All the better for it. Fill them generously, and mean muffins are no good at all. Are we nearly there?
Yeah.
Get the rest in? Don't waste it. Right, see. Am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
You've been eating a mixture. I think we filled them rather full, but they will be fantastic. Do you want to look at the bowl? Or are you...
No,
No, you're all right. That's unusual. Right, so we've managed to make 10. You should make between 10 and 12. These are now going to go into a hot oven for about 20 minutes. Our muffins are ready. Don't those look fantastic?
Yeah.
Now, before you dig in, did you know that the Americans take their muffins really, really seriously? The apple muffin, which we've made today, is the state muffin in New York, so they're all into their apple muffins. In Minnesota, they prefer blueberries, they're not apple fans. And in Massachusetts, they like corn muffins. So, but remember, they are still a cake, so don't go crazy. You can have one and eat it with a slightly better conscience than a big slab of chocolate cake, but little is probably better than masses. Is that good? So enjoy, and hopefully you'll have as much fun as we have making your muffins. Thank you. Is that your second one of the day? Josie, confident, and you've eaten pavlova.